inside for Albert. Albert will get the score. Fiddler, his farewell. He tapped into a legend and probably rugby league immortality. That's not a try, that's a miracle.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Take the Two podcast, heading into round 18, the last major bye round of the 2025 season. Thank fuck. Brought to you by Neds. Jump onto the Neds app, follow along with all of our bets this week and for the rest of the NRL season. The OG CBA, the Master of Disaster. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Master of Disaster.
King of Sting. I watched Rocky Balboa the other day, or some of the ones they used for Apollo Creed. Just stuck with me.
They don't make movies like that anymore.
No, they never will. It's done.
What's the greatest sports movie to you?
Moneyball.
Moneyball's right up there. That's a very good shout.
Moneyball, yeah, Moneyball's not inspiring though. Like from a managerial position, yeah, but it's not like Rudy Rudiger.
Yeah, that's very good. What was the one I watched the other day with last name was Papali'i? He was the wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Invincible. You seen that one?
No.
Kat, can you look up Invincible? Tell me who the actor is. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Cracker, you'd really like that one.
Yes.
Bit of an inspirational film. Remember the Titans, obviously, the go-to, the automatic. But
Any Given Sunday?
Any Given Sunday, I'm a fan of.
The Speech,
yeah.
Inches?
Yes, very good. It's not inspirational, but I think the replacements.
It's Vince Papali was played by Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good flick.
Yeah.
The Fighter, you seen that one?
Yes.
Another good flick.
Yeah. Boxing movies is that $1 Million Baby.
Yes.
Yes, Moondog Baby's good. Yeah. The Replacements, I think, is a really underrated one. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Washington Sentinels.
Yeah, it's got a bit that Waterboy feel, doesn't it? Like it's like feel good. You can put it on.
I think also any female that grew up playing soccer would love Bend It Like Beckham for that reason. Like it inspired me.
That was a big deal at the time.
It got me
It
out
was
there.
huge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of the market's there for one of those inspirational stories
Yeah.
to come out. Anyway.
What was that one about the NFL college side? It was a true story too, where the plane crashed. We Are Marshall.
Oh yeah, that's
Matty
a
McConaughey.
good one.
I don't
That's
think
a
I've
good
seen
one.
that.
That's a
Haven't
good
you?
watch.
No, I don't think I have.
That's a very good one.
Gonna have
I reckon
to.
it's Matty McConaughey. It's probably the most underrated flick. It's not talked about enough.
No,
Yeah, wow.
Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah, I don't think that's underrated though. That's fucking mad.
Yeah,
Like she doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
We Are
Mad.
Marshall.
No.
It's never mentioned.
Never met. That's what I'm saying. No one talks about it. It's bullshit. It's a good
Adding it
flick.
to the list.
Does remember the Titans hold up now? Like for a 19-year-old kid that hasn't seen it, and you're like, hey, we're going to sit down and watch Remember the Titans. Like, does that translate to now rugby league?
I don't know.
I
like to
watched
think
it
so.
very recently and it definitely had an effect, but I'm not 19, so not too sure. So,
there's
They're
not
not
many-
far off though.
the
21's not far away.
That's true. Oh,
You are a
he's in the
sucker.
good books today. In the good books.
Makes
But
fun of us.
I think a lot of the themes,
It's a
though.
little bit cold. Not outside. As I walked in today.
What are you going to say, Amanda?
Just a lot of the themes, I think, are still relevant. And like that's kind of the key for being able to resonate with a 19-year-old. If the themes are relevant, they're relevant. And it's still a great story.
What's your favourite like comedy sports movie?
Oh,
She's a Man. Tell me you've seen it.
I have. Yeah.
probably Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore has to be up there.
True. Yeah.
Is Happy
that's
Gilmore
up
2 out yet?
Not yet. I was a big basketball fan too.
Oh,
you would have seen that.
yeah.
Baseball's a cracker. You seen that one?
Yes.
there. Don't think so.
Actually, that's coming up later in the show. I think the NRL are heading down basketball territory with their teams. You know the other one that's underrated this is an actual rugby league podcast, by the way. Kicking and Screaming.
Yes. Yeah. It's good.
Getting it. Will Ferrell's just so good.
Dodgeball, cracker.
Dodgeball.
Yeah, dodgeball.
Was it Eastbound and Down, that series? Do yourself a favour if you've got time. Eastbound and Down from the start.
Criminally underrated, and there's a number of memes that have come out of Eastbound Down that I think when people see them, they don't know it's from that. Like that, I feel it in my plums and all that
Yes.
sort of stuff. Like that. That one is an absolute.
But you know, there's
cracker.
movies like that or series like that are now politically incorrect. You can't find. Like I cannot find Austin Powers anywhere. The full Austin Powers experience, because some of those jokes, obviously, obviously, but the line speed was just amazing.
Eastbound and Down is so underrated. I genuinely reckon the main dude, I forget his name, but I reckon he is he's one of the greatest characters in existence for me. He was perfect on the jet ski with the glasses.
Will know. I've got the hat suit side. I'm too excited about movies. Sorry, I'm just guru merched.
One other one just on the Adam Sandler thing, The Longest Yard. I also watched
That's a
that
good flick, yeah.
not that long ago.
It's a remake.
Very
mate.
funny.
It's a good remake, though. It is a
Yeah.
good remake.
Nelly. Yeah, it's good.
I like
Alright.
Nelly.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway,
I don't know how we got here, but
Why
we
did she
did.
aim?
So,
Why did she smile so hard? Then, like, I like Nelly.
now, next Friday,
Yes.
kicking masterclass. Talk
Yeah.
to me. What's on? What's doing?
School holidays, teaming up with Meta Strength or
Yep.
Luke Gordon, who I used to play Jersey Flag with at the Roosters, which you would know. And
CBA.
we're doing a kicking masterclass out there at Brindle Parkway Reserve. You can get online. I'll throw up the link on my Instagram or go to Meta Strength Sports and get in the link. We've done one before. We had a huge turnout, so looking forward to that. It's 2 hours of kicking. If you wanted to know anything about kicking from start to finish, I'm your man next Friday.
Might send Josh Durkin down there.
Well, he's got his own Instagram following at the moment, mate. He got thrown
Starting to
up.
pick up. Yeah.
He's I'm off you, brother, actually.
Why's that?
Well, we had a bit of dialogue and I gave him some stuff and I thought you usually like come back to me. Like, hey, I've been doing this. Like, what do you think about this? Like, I thought the match had been struck. Someone's blown it out and it wasn't me.
New generation, mate, I'm telling you. It's a problem. I'm having the same issues with Josh Durkin, don't worry.
Josh, take a leaf out of, is it Tommy Jaeger?
TJ, yeah.
TJ, take a leaf out of his book. Just be dedicated to your craft 24/7.
the real question is, does Josh Durkin remember the Titans?
He wouldn't know what that is. He thinks it's the 07 Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah,
probably.
he's the perfect person to test the movie out.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd be too scared to ask.
Coach Carter is the other one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Coach Carter's a good one. Yeah, hey, we're falling
Sorry.
back
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah, we're
rabbit
falling
hole.
back.
Can't be doing that. Okay, let's kick off first of all. Origin 3 on Wednesday night. Super exciting. We will have our full review of the game Thursday. That'll be out Thursday afternoon for you guys to consume. You'll have my midnight dribble and us at 3 p.m. Thursday going through that. Goal kicking. It's been enormous throughout this Origin series. Crazy how much effect it's had. Who do you think should goal kick for New South Wales game 3?
Zach Lomax.
Why?
If you were to have one bad game and kick 1 from 5, and people, and I don't say this disrespectfully, people that don't know, you know, because he's channeling the way that he strikes the ball. He's done it the last 2 Origin series, okay? Even last year. I know Cleary was out, but he was the number 1 goal kicker. Now, yes, game 2, it's easy to put down the 1 from 5, and it's easy to say he didn't get, or 2 from 5, whatever he kicked. But if you have a look at where he actually hits the ball and how well he strikes the ball, and the other part about it is he kicked 6 from 6 5 days later. Backing up from Origin, 5 days later, 6 from 6 in a win for the Parramatta Reels. The only discussion that I could entertain was if Cleary is right to go to goal kick, but I would think last week against Canterbury not having that kick, not goal kicking, that he's not right to do that. Latrell Mitchell comes into calculations, beautiful striker of the ball, but it's got to come down to Zach. It's his job. I just think confidence-wise, if you go into the game, you're like, Zach, you're not going to be the goal kicker, and you're taking away some of his power that he's been so good at for so long. So I would have Zach Lomax.
Yeah, I think Latrell Mitchell is an interesting conversation, just from, and not even from like a goal kicking point of view per se, just a big stage.
And they might get to that.
Yeah.
They might get to that. Like you could see if, it's going to be up to Zach. I would leave it up to Zach.
Yeah.
If I was coach, I'd say, Zach, you're our goal kicker. Go and practice. If you get in the game, I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah.
He's got to be big enough to go like, it's not my night, or I'm not hitting it well, like Cleary did in game 1.
Yeah. And just for the record too, for those, jumping and shitting down Lomax's throat after that kicking performance in game 2 that want Latrell, he did the exact same thing 3 days later. They scored more tries against Melbourne, lost the game off goal kicking too.
Yeah. So it happens. It happens. You don't just stop your craft because you've had one bad night. And like I said, if he was missing to the left, Zach, and if you're right-footed, your perfect channel is black dot and right post.
Yep.
All right? If you're left-footed, it's vice versa. Zach didn't miss left, okay? He missed right. He hit the right post. So that's good enough for me.
What was your worst night of goal kicking or worst day?
I kicked 1 from 6 one night in Jersey Flegg, I think, out at Leichhardt.
Yep.
And I think I nearly missed from in front.
Yeah, right.
I just,
Did you ever miss from in front?
No.
No.
Not as an adult, I don't think. Maybe 30 out. I think I missed one my last game for the Dragons, maybe, in to send it to Golden Point, but that was like 30 out just off centre. Tough kick that.
A criminally underrated tough kick where you don't practice from and whatnot. You know more than me. But.
Well, you do practice from there, but it's the moment of the game as well. Like most of the time, your biggest kicks are, I think, in between the scrum lines. Yeah, those big games, I'd always not panic, but I'd always worry if we scored out wide through BMOS and I'd miss that first one, and then they score and it's 6-4. And then you have to kick the next one.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what Zach went through in game 2. You know, like he missed that. He got the first one off the post, misses the second one. Then it's like, I have to kick this next one because we have to be going up in sixes.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to, we're going to talk about kick chase quickly. And it's become a bit of a pet peeve in the game of late. I think we saw Eli Katoa put on a real show the other day. Why aren't these teams attacking the ball in the air?
Well, there's a clear... The top teams are clearly above. I tweeted it out on Friday night maybe. They just want to contest the ball. It's an effort area. You speak about 1%ers in the game and you speak about effort areas. That's a want. And the two moments that stood out for me, and this isn't a pick on anyone type of thing. This is what the game showed us on the weekend.
Yep.
Eli Katoa, who plays in the back row, has 40 tackles, try assist, all that kind of stuff. Could not have played any better, right? Still values that enough that I'm going to go up and try and catch the ball. Okay? Dom Young, game on the line, Raiders the other night. The ball's 3 metres away. He's the fastest man, in Newcastle Knights. Doesn't go and attack the ball. Teams are scared, and I had a question for you. Clarify, is it if you knock it on, it's 0 tackle, but if you let them catch it and tackle, it's tackle 1?
I believe so, yeah.
What a shit rule.
Yeah. I've actually never thought about that.
It is so swayed. Kicking games and all that kind of stuff now is so swayed not to do it. Like, if I'm a kicker right now, I want to see everyone contesting on every single play. Because if you think back to 2014, when Dallin throws that ball back in against the Roosters, earlier that preseason, Dallin didn't chase the ball and it was a horrible kick and it went dead, and pulled up at the last second. And I absolutely gave it to Dallin. I said, man, you just keep chasing the kick. Oh, it's got to be. No, you just chase it. I'll kick it. That's my job.
Yep.
And what we're seeing now from teams is they kick to a corner and they do this high big kick and they go, oh, that's a great kick. And then the chase is 5 metres away. And they go, and then you hear the commentators, why didn't they contest that? It takes one person to go after it and everyone else file in behind. And you can try and come up with the ball.
Is it the way, and I think it's ridiculous how we do it nowadays, but is it just that when you contest a ball in the air, if the defender catches it, it's a penalty? Like, is that the mindset why they're not doing it? Because the field position can turn so quickly if you don't win that contest?
Oh, look, there's reasons out there, but it's just they're all.
I would assume that has to be the main.
But if you're a
reason,
fullback, right? Like KP got out jumped the other night by Sasangi.
Yep.
It's a mini kick, just goes up and contests it, and everyone goes, "What a play!" And you're like, isn't that the standard? Like that's just the guy who just wants to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And you see Katoa do it, and you're like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" And I was like, "That is cool." He wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But when Lomax does it, time after time, contest, like it puts pressure on the kicker to put the ball on the money. And then you start working in conjunction with each other. Because if you're chasing and I'm putting it 7 metres in front of where you need to be versus pulling it back a little bit, come into a contest, a lot of young kids want the perfect kick all the time. And coaches, we want the perfect kick. It's not about the perfect kick. It's about the contest. If you're over that 40 and you can create a contest, you are so much better off than going down there and trudging down and letting them run it out of their end.
Yeah, I hate the way that when you do see guys compete with it though. And as I said before, if the fullback catches it, it's a penalty straight away, which is just
go up and
bullshit.
contest it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If the fullback does catch it, it's a penalty immediately though.
If you tackle them.
Even if you don't tackle them, it's a penalty though. That's what they're doing now.
No, I reckon this is my little. We got tinfoil hats on this show.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, they're not penalising high shots anymore, and they're not penalising people that are jumping for the ball.
They're 100% still penalising guys jumping the ball. If the defender
Not
catches
last week
the ball,
they didn't. They had. I think Jenkins went through on Connor Tracy, and it looked like a car crash, and they just said play on.
Didn't watch that game overly closely, if I'm honest.
No, I know, but I'm telling you, they are pulling it back a little bit because they
No,
don't
I
want
agree with you on
they
that
don't want to get to a final where
Fight. Sorry.
who else is like someone's going up to catch it. Let's say Connor Tracy's going up to catch it in the grand final, and KO Weeks comes through and he's got eyes for the ball the whole way, and he goes up and there's somehow their arms tangle where KO goes to catch it like that and he falls in and it looks like he wraps him up. There's not going to be a penalty for that. They will not do it.
Yeah, I don't know. They've been pretty fucking consistent with
I
all that.
feel like recently there was and I cannot remember for the life of me. Hopefully you remember that there was an incident recently where this happened, and all of these like when you slow-mo these and replay them, they look bad and it never goes the way that you expect it to go.
The last couple of weeks, they are backing off on that.
Mate, I forget what game it was, but there was a player this weekend who the ball bounced. He jumped up to catch it and he got tackled in the air, and the whole team was just waiting and expecting a penalty. That was off a fucking bounce for it.
Yeah, because they don't know the rules.
Yeah, but I think it's because they've got so used to those penalties coming off kicks.
That's what I mean. I reckon they've backed off on it. Same with high shots. Every high shot was put on report. Now it's like, oh, it's not too bad.
I agree with you on high shots, 100%. Yeah.
But the aim of that, the topic was, if you put a kick in the area, all right, if you're aiming for the perfect kick all the time, it's not going to work for you. You got pressure, you got all this kind of stuff. If you create a contest and the people outside do their job and contest it, you're going to come up with tries. The best teams are doing it. Raiders, where are they on the ladder? First? Yeah. Melbourne, where are they? Third? Like, hello, it's not rocket science. They're just competing. And if you come up with an error, you come up with an error.
Well, yeah. Yeah. You see, like Zach Lomax comes up with an error probably 70% of the time, but it doesn't.
7 tackle sets, everyone goes, oh my God, 7 tackle sets. That's when they start on the 20. If you're contesting inside the 20 and you get 1 extra tackle, just work harder for 1 extra tackle.
I did love the way, like watching Lomax on the weekend, like Hawkins, just no matter where he was on the field, he'd always just kick to that corner, and you knew exactly what was coming. But, mate, the amount of times they got a positive result out of it, and Lomax didn't score a try at any point, but they got a positive result out of it the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, because on last play, everyone's going, I hope they don't kick it to Zach. What's going to happen? Oh, my God, there's panic. He's going to run hard and contest it. And everyone goes, oh, shit, what do we do? It's like, good on you, Zach. Like, going and contesting the ball. That's your job.
Yeah.
Because if you come up with one play, or if you catch it, just go up to catch it. Don't go up to bat it back and...
Now, one other moment I want to talk about from the weekend, just off the dome, I just remembered. I was obviously on the Hello Sport live stream the other night, and geez, there was one moment where Penrith made a half break, and they had Canterbury on the back foot. They went down the left edge, and as soon as Blaze Talangi got it, I think it was like a 3-on-2, and he just automatically went for the kick. We've spoken about this before. I wish they would just run the football there. Just take them on.
Agree.
If you turn the ball over a metre, sweat. And on the live stream, I said, fuck. You don't even get the ball back anymore. You get a chance to maybe get the ball back. Of course, they didn't get the ball back on that one, which is not how it always goes. But, geez, I would love when you have a team on the back foot for the ball player, especially a guy like Blaze, just take them on.
Agree.
Just go.
To be fair, I thought that was his best game.
It was, yeah. And if it wasn't for if it wasn't for Connor Tracy making 2 or 3 unbelievable tackles, Blaze is probably player of the week in that game.
Yeah. Sometimes you panic in those breaks. Ricky Stewart used to have a method when the line break.
Yep.
So he would always attack where the line break was conceded. So by that, you'd be, say you're running down, we used to call it Tosca, but you'd be running down, you make a break down the left-hand side, and then everyone's running back to their lane, because that's when everyone's running back to their lane. So you come out, look like you're shifting, because everyone's going, oh, shit, we've got to get over there where there's no space, and you'd turn the half back underneath and you'd attack straight back down that edge.
Well, if you have a look, that's exactly what Jay Clifford did on the weekend when he put Purdue over.
Yeah.
They had the big spread out to there. He came off his left foot and found him back on the inside. They made it look a little bit harder, but same sort of approach.
So the dummy half, we used to have the dummy half would come out and go forward.
Yeah.
Like look like they're going to run it over to there, and then you just swing late down.
Yeah.
Like the little drop play and swing late down there with floated numbers. So if you played the ball, you had to be aware that the ball's coming back
to
to
be
you.
ready for it.
Yeah.
That was a case of beer for the guy that scored a try if he played the ball, wasn't it?
The only person I ever saw that, it was I don't know if it was in the Surrey Cup or not, but I think Gus may have offered one.
I think it was Gus
at
used
Penrith.
to do it.
Yeah, Nigel Plum did it at Manly.
If you ever look,
he crashed into a play the ball, and it's like Chico come out. I think Chico or Louis Brown come out and just offloaded back, and then Plummy's crashed over, and Gus burst in Monday going, What the F?
There's a cracker that just resonates how much of a good player this dude was. That Bradley Clyde did it from his own half once. Played the ball. Walters came out, came to the left, just turned and threw it back inside. And just typical Bradley Clyde, was just aware all the time.
Yeah.
He gets the ball in his own half after playing the ball and takes it all the way to the
Jeez,
house.
he'd be good right now in the
he'd be
NRL,
fine.
wouldn't he?
Yeah. We talk about it all the time, but those guys that don't go into coaching or media and they're just sort of not forgotten about, but
Would the closest person to Bradley Clyde right now be Isaiah Yeo?
it's Cam Murray. It's not
Cam
close.
Murray? Yeah,
I
right.
I think Cam Murray's
You've
the closest
thought about
that we've
this.
ever. I've been saying this for years.
Yeah, okay.
No one knows who fucking Brad Clyde is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, the people watching this show do, but the vast majority out there, no idea.
Do they bring him back in the middle next year, Cam Murray, or on an edge?
Middle is my answer, but for the longevity of him, it might be edge.
Could it be edge, defence, middle attack?
Yep, I'd be okay with that.
And like
Yep.
Keon, edge, defence, attack. Edge, attack, middle
Well,
defence.
who do we have next year? Well, I mean, in saying that, now that you've got Aiken and Tallis Duncan, maybe he does just play middle. I mean, both those boys have been flying.
I know, but I just look at him a lot of the times. I look at Cam Murray, I go, he's so good. He looks so tired.
Yeah.
Like he could be so effective.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting
Well,
to
he's
see how he
so
comes
effective.
back from this. It's a pretty big injury.
Jeez, he's such a good player.
Such a good player.
To think he'd be in the blue side this year.
Yeah, and he'd be an
Yeah.
absolute shit in.
Yeah.
We're missing him a lot.
Everyone's missing him. Every team that he's a part of missing him desperately. I reckon South Sydney, if they can get everyone back on deck next year, and I'll said it this year as well, but
Told Matty, the water boy,
yeah,
start of the year. Next 26 is the Rabbitohs year.
they're starting to really shape up. Wayne's going to leave and they're going to be left with a circus of a group there. It'll be interesting, but
When?
well, like if Wayne leaves in 2 years' time, like you look at a lot of the personalities they've signed, they're a very Wayne Bennett kind of guys.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be interesting when the next
Yeah,
guy
but everyone
comes in.
becomes Wayne Bennett kind of guys.
Sure, but I think South Sydney have got a certain group, like a lot of players there that you just know Wayne's probably going to get more out of them than what other
Yeah,
guys
but
are.
the advantage is there's one constant there, and I reckon he'll be the next South Sydney head coach, is Ben Hornby.
Ben Hornby, yeah.
He's such a guy that can switch paces and be on your level and learn from Wayne. Like he's very similar to Wayne.
Yeah, okay.
Very similar to
I
Wayne.
hope so. I like Benny Hornby. Good man. I reckon he might get a feature later in the show, actually. Let's talk about the Penny Panthers. Are they back? Very good game against Canterbury. They've now beaten the Warriors and Canterbury 2 weeks on the trot. I guess the counter to that, they scored off a charge down, their only points of the evening. But I just thought the difference the other night for Penrith compared to the rest of the season was their defence, mate. It's the first time they've looked like it's the first time this season they've looked like the team that they've looked like in September every other year for the last few seasons.
Yeah, totally agree. Just pulling up their matches for the next month in and around this period. I think they've won. Yeah, I think I said last week top 4 is still on the cards.
Yep.
And you laughed at me.
I was just looking at you. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, but
to
it wasn't
you,
with the glazy love
Yeah, no,
hard eyes that you
I-
normally look at me with.
Yeah, I thought Canterbury would win that game.
Yeah. So what we've seen the last 2 weeks is we've seen young guys who have finally learnt how to prepare and win in tough environments when they
Yep.
went to New Zealand. And Ivan Cleary with a clear standard of that's your standard. And then the Origin guys coming back and doing what Origin guys do. But they've won different ways. Defensively, you're exactly right. They would defensively look like the juggernaut they've been for the last 5
Yeah,
years.
September
Defense. And nothing epitomised me more. And something that you said when we first started this podcast at the start of the year, you said, Isaac Tungo, what do you think? I said, mate, defensively he's got some issues. And you said, but he has 3 or 4 games a year that he turns into Superman.
Yeah.
And he got beat early on in that game. And then after that, he was sweet. It was almost like they should let him concede one in the warm-up so that he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like it was just mentally he switched on and he was physical and he just looked like Isaac Tungo. What I would say is I think they've changed their attack a little bit this year, and it's a sign of great coaching but also awareness that what's working in the NRL at the moment isn't these out-the-back plays from your middle 13s. We saw Queensland do it in Game 1. We saw New South Wales go to the front door with Nathan Cleary.
Yep.
We've seen the success of Isaiah Katoa. Now you're seeing that from Cleary, and Isaiah Yeo isn't playing out the back as much. He's playing like a middle forward. So he's almost been that guy that when they're on the back foot and the ruck's not rolling, you see him just crash in.
Yeah.
And I reckon that's like Lindsay Smith is going to be the next Isaiah Yeo, right? once he gets that, like he's looking out at the moment, once he gets that nuts not on and can figure out that pass run ratio and where he goes, they're going to be unstoppable again. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they won it this year, but if they had a prelim or got to the second week and it was just too much, and then 26 they bounce back and just go, righto, we're all fully grown men now.
Yeah, and come 26, Blaze will have a full season under his belt. Isaiah Pupley, full season under his belt.
And that helped the other night.
Yep.
That helped the other night. In a tight game, when you're looking around, at the start of the year, they were probably looking around a little bit going, okay, this is where I need to be. This is where that person should be, but they weren't there.
Yep.
The other night, they just played and they competed really hard. And Blaze, to his credit, we've been critical of him at times. We weren't sure what was going on there. Ivan's tapped into something there, and that's the best game that he's played. He looked like that was the first time he complimented Nathan Cleary without Nath having to sort of like put him into position. He just ran from dummy half a couple of times. He was defensively really good. It was cool to watch.
Yeah, there was one moment in that game. He threw an unnecessary offload at one point.
Yeah,
and
at the end.
But I loved how dirty he got on himself too.
Yeah.
He's always very blasé and blah, blah, blah. I think, I like the way he reacted to that.
Yeah. My wife hated that pass, which kind of turned me on a little bit that she loves rugby league that much. Doesn't it? Just like you're at home and you go, oh no, why did he pass that? And you look across and she's gone, what the fuck was that? And I've just gone, oh, I love you so much. Do we have to watch the end?
Oh, that's unreal. Just on the making the top four too, I'll tell you what, that Metcalf injury, that's shifted the world for me with the Warriors.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm very nervous. So the Warriors, they're on 24 competition points. They've still got one bye to come. The Brisbane Broncos, they're on 20 points. They've got one bye to come. Roosters on 20. They've got no more byes. Penrith are on 19. So that's the other beauty about Penrith. They're for and against, doesn't matter. No. So the head start they've given teams, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And to be fair, their for and against is only 8 points behind the Warriors anyway.
And they play Eels, Rabbitohs, Tigers, Titans, Knights, Storm, Raiders, Dogs, Dragons. So they've got
They could drop 2 games on the way.
Do you know what? Fuck, this is a perfect thing.
Is the Melbourne game home or away?
At home. But this is a perfect thing for them. So if let's say they rattle off the next 5, the Panthers.
Yep.
Which is okay.
Yep.
Yeah. They come home and Ivan Cleary sits the boys down and goes, boys, we play the Storm, Raiders, Dogs next 3 weeks. Let's act like this is the finals. Let's act like if we lose this week to Melbourne, we're out.
We're out.
And if we win next week, we're in a prelim. And then all of a sudden we get the Dogs in a grand final. And then I'll give you the Dragons off. Like, not because it's the Dragons, but like you're week in and then we'll go again. Like that's why I said the top 4, like their next 5 games they'll start favourites in all those games. And then like now there's no like, what are we going to get from Penrith? Because we've sort of been giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
And then the whole competition got scared shitless when they saw that defensive effort the other night. And I think the Dogs, to be fair, they would have learned a lot out of that game.
Yeah, and you know what, to the Dogs' credit, I think they beat 13 other teams the other night.
Agree.
14 maybe.
Agree.
Maybe 15.
Agree.
Realistically.
And we said we're not going to deep dive until it happens, but they do have a problem
They've seriously got a problem
with what they're doing. You either rip the Band-Aid off and give him the 7 jersey, Galvin, or leave Marnie on and take Sexton off.
Can't keep treading water like this.
Well, not when Reed was playing good the other night. Yeah, that was...
But that's the other thing as well. Like they're giving all these guys opportunities. None of them are shitting the bed. They're all good players in a good system.
Yeah.
Like, they know what
Sexton's
they're doing.
playing great at 7.
Yep.
At 7.
I sort of thought a domino might fall before June 30, but now they're all there for the rest of the year. It's an interesting
Big
watch. Mate, I want to have a conversation with you about the final system. So we currently have 17 teams in this competition. We have a top 8 final series, which I like. It means that 8 teams make finals, 9 miss out. For the last 20 years of rugby league, it's been 50% make it. We're going to add another team in 27. Perth will come in. So if we stay the way we are, that'll mean that 8 teams make it, 10 teams miss it. The year after that, P&G come in. That'll then be 8 teams make it, 11 miss it. What do you want to see it look like heading into the future? Are you a wild card round? Are you I'm okay that the best 8 actually make it? Because, I mean, last few years, the teams that are 7th and 8th, well, to be fair, the vast majority of the time, 7 and 8 are filling space, if we're honest. How do you want to see it when we get to 19, for example, and then to 20 even more? how do you see being the best way to do it?
Well, the only way, and shout out to Michael Chamis, who said there has to be a wild card round
Yep.
going forward. And he's been on that for a while.
Yep.
He wants it now. The only way it will work is if you've got 10 teams. I could see that. But you're essentially extending the competition with a wild card round because the top 2 or 3 or 4 teams might not play that first week. So in the NBA right now, and not to take you down a basketball, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm
When they
interested.
do the playoffs, the basketball. We should just put that up, like with it. Like
We're watching that during the off season too, by the way.
and this person's going to play here. And then they've got a 7-game series over here. They just go on for like three months on this playoffs thing. Anyway, I'm glad because I've told so many people that analogy about playoffs and they don't understand it. And I've found my why in that region. Look, I could see a 9v10, your 7v8 to get in, and the first 2 get the week off. I could see that. But as I've said before, the only way that will work is if you have the week off before the grand final, because you can't reduce games, which the NRL will do, and they'll go into a conference style system eventually. You can't reduce games and then get to a final series and it'll all be over in 4 weeks. It doesn't make sense monetary wise. It doesn't make sense viewing wise. It doesn't make sense for the players because you're asking them to do more in less, essentially. The only way you could do it, I think, if you had 10 teams, let's say 9 and 10, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, or 7v10, 9, 8v9.
For week 1.
For week 1.
Yep.
Everyone gets a week off.
Yep.
Those 2 teams advance. Yeah, you finish 7th, you get to play the 10th team, 8th play the 9th team, and then you go into your normal 1v8, 2v7, like that.
McIntyre system.
Well, that seems to, then you get the best straight away. If you go top 4 after that, so that's 2 weeks, then it's 3 weeks, then it's 4 weeks, and you have to have a week off, and then it's 6-week final series. Oh, yeah, if that's what you want to do. I'm just a big advocate for you need to have the week off before the grand final so you can actually enjoy it. There's so much shit that has to go on before the grand final, breakfast, media appearances, training, all that kind of stuff. You can break that up and do it over 2 weeks and make it an event. Have the All-Stars game, have whatever you want in that middle part.
Which, for those who don't watch, is exactly what the Super Bowl does.
Copy it.
2 week spell. Yeah.
Copy it.
And I know you all in the comments, you get very upset whenever it's anything American sports, but they tend to do sport really well. Maybe there's something to take from it.
Yeah. And they have an event where you can actually, the players that first week, you can go and enjoy the festivities of people being there and fan build up and all that kind of stuff. Right now, it's like, oh shit, what time's this finish? Because I want to get out of here and start thinking about the game.
Yeah.
You know, allow the players to enjoy that first. It's a special time. To be in a grand final is an amazing achievement. To win one, even better. But it's all over before you know it. Yeah, it is all over before you know it. So,
Did you find that
I hated it.
2010 week was just flu?
Like we had grand final breakfast at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, right.
And you weren't allowed to eat the food because I don't normally eat bacon and eggs. So I'm not going to smash a big bacon and eggs 3 days before the biggest moment of my life. So I just wanted to get out of there. I wanted to be either on the training paddock or getting ready for the game.
This would be really dribbly of me. Was grand final breakfast 2010? Was that like a white T-shirt and a
blazer?
Blazer?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm
God.
picturing in my head?
A blazer that
Black
was
blazer,
yes,
red trim.
yes.
You still got that bad boy?
No.
Would have looked great in the CBA Centre of Excellence.
I've got something for you.
Have a look for it.
I've got something.
It's one of those real dribbly things. That I don't know why I remember that.
It's just impressive that you remember.
Thank you. Yeah.
We wore it to the Prezzo afterwards, like that year, with our rings, and that was really cool.
How good. All right. Question of the week. This one comes from Joseph Holmes in the Roo Crew. Shout out to it.
Can I get some line speed on this?
What do you want
Get
from me?
weirder. The Roo Crew's been, you know what? They've been playing at a reserve grade level.
Wow. How dare you?
Mate,
I've never said anything about your
take
family,
us into,
mate.
Take
And
us into the
you come
deep
swinging at the Roo Crew.
dungeons. Like, this is a great question.
This is good. I like this question.
Yeah, but where have you been? What have you been doing there?
All right. Who was Sowie's favourite halves partner of all time, and what did they do to allow Sowie to utilise his strongest attributes as a ball player?
I played with Ben Hornby and Peter Wallace the most.
Yep.
And both very similar in terms of never really rode me on the trying to be like someone else kind of stuff. I think in 2008, I came back, was injured when I went to the Dragons and they made the finals at Manly. I think they got beat.
Yeah, they got done, yeah.
And Ben Rogers was playing 5'8", and I ended up, I was in, I was out, I was in, I was out, blah, blah, blah. I went to Ben Hornby afterwards and I just said, like, mate, what's going on? Like, I thought you trusted me. He's like, mate, we just didn't know. Like, we just couldn't trust you off the back of an injury. And
Yep.
yeah, and he'd played with Trent Barrett and all these legends. And that to me was like, okay, so I have to earn his trust. And when I finally got his trust, he never put pressure on me to try and be someone that I wasn't. Like, he wasn't yelling from the other side of the field, you got to dig into the line more. He always just let me compete, go about my stuff. And some of our biggest games, he actually just let me do what I needed to do. He knew I was going to be the main kicker. I did the bulk of the kicking that year.
Yep.
And he'd support, he'd come up with the other big plays, he'd get people in position for me, all that kind of stuff. Wall was the same. Yeah, they allow, and I've said this so many times, and people, when your halves partner is cooking, like if we're on this podcast,
Yep.
you allow me to be me and express myself without judgment, without any like, hey mate, can you say this today, right? That's a good partnership, because then there's times where you're going on something and I'm deep thinking about it, you know what I mean? And we're talking all week, like that's a great partnership. So those two guys allowed me to be me without the pressure of trying to be something that I wasn't. And that was why at the start of the show I spoke about Ben Hornby. Like Wayne Bennett as a coach. He was an extension of Wayne. He knew, there had to be times where he had to maybe pull me in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we kicked a Manly 2010. I kicked for the first try. I actually overkicked the ball, which I'm still fucking filthy about. Gets the right bounce. What?
I love it.
What?
I
Like
love
in
that he's
movies
still-
where they have like war flashbacks. That's what I saw in your face.
George Rose, I think, shoulder charged me. I do my AC joint that play, but I overkick the ball and it gets like one of those low bounce and then it takes up.
Yeah.
And then like that. And Ben Hornby like pulls it in from anywhere, scores. And I've come charging in, like fucking jumps so high, like far long on Nick Meaney. And he grabbed me. He's like, "Go get your fucking head on. Relax, relax, relax." And I was like, "Fuck. What do you mean, relax? I'm flying here." Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just knew that. And Wall was very much the same. So, look, Ben Hornby, obviously special memories with him. But I think those two guys for sure.
If you were to put it on the flip, like who was like the young half you played with at some point that you thought you played that role well for?
Oh, I've said this before in countless interviews. Like, I was a horrible person when I was older in terms of leadership and all that kind of stuff. I felt like I had a good relationship with Moiser when he was coming through. He had that year in 14, which was incredible, and I just loved passing him the ball and him just going to work. But in terms of like halves partners, I don't think I was a great halves partner for anyone when I was older. I was dealing with my own shit, and I was probably had my ego in the way of a lot of I've been there and done it sort of thing, which gets in your way. And I've said that before. So, I mean, the guys I played with, Samade Martin, I thought me and Will Smith actually really combined well that year in 14. Like, up against it, he was just tough, get in your face, defend hard, run the ball. Like, I really loved playing with Will Smith that year. So, but I wouldn't say I was a great halves partner for anyone.
Whenever you bring up Will Smith, that try that he scored against Parramatta in the semi-final, against Melbourne in the semi-final for Parramatta, where Moses, what does he do? He fades out and then he just throws it over his shoulder like that. And Will Smith comes charging through. Fucking cracker of a try.
He is one of those guys. I saw Will at the Easter show. He's still a good-looking cat. Like,
he's playing up in Newcastle.
Mate, he plays every year at the Aboriginal knockout or the Koori knockout, and he's just one of the toughest buggers you've ever seen on a footy field.
What do you reckon his best position was?
If he was playing right now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
14.
14.
Yeah. He in that semi-final, we had a play where he would tap, look out, and then go, because we wanted Minnie to actually come up in the line a little bit.
Yeah.
So Minnie cheated a little bit, so we'd previewed that he was going to tap, first play, go and kick over and try and catch him out.
Yeah.
Kicks it dead. I kick out in the full. This is all in the first half, Roosters 14, first week of the finals. And both of us were just looking at each other like, fuck, we're sweet. Yeah, like that's a sign of a good halves pairing when you're not in each other's face about that shit, because it happens.
You know what's so funny? I don't know where it is in this studio. It's somewhere around here somewhere. But in 2014, I was a bit younger and a little bit fitter. I was heaps fitter. And we had we ran like a half marathon thing. And we had this group that we trained with for a few weeks. And I was the slowest one by a country mile. But I ran the most kilometres out of everyone because I just kept going and going, just trying to keep up with everyone. Anyway, we got to like the awards night happened to be that night. Anyway, I won the best runner that year, which everyone found fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I found hilarious too. But I will never forget whenever someone, and it's in the studio here somewhere, I can't remember where it's sitting, but whenever someone comes in here, and I put it in here so people pick it up and
I
fucking
think
piss themselves laughing.
I can see it.
You say,
I
yeah,
can
it
see
says best runner. I remember when I was holding that, shook their hand and they were talking about the program and everything, and I was watching in the corner of the screen, you kicked that field goal, just not paying any fucking attention to anything else that was going on, just going, kick it. Cracker of an
Against your
evening,
team.
Oh, you're my team, mate. It was against everyone else's team that night.
That whole sequence. Yeah, and that's what I said. Dallin flicks the ball back in. It was a short side. Brent Kite, dummy half. Soward, shit little end over end kick. But I've told you the story about Minnie. I've told you that story.
About that kick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't believe you, but
Gus we'd previewed that Minicello likes to come around and get the ball. If you go back and watch.
Oh, no, sorry. I meant the field goal.
Oh, no, the field goal. Mate, line drive. Beautiful, baby.
Yeah,
Mate, literally, like,
I watched you kick a lot of field goals, mate.
I kicked 26. In that moment, Moiser was supposed to probably go for it, but it was Chico passed to Moiser and Moiser sprays him, and then Chico tells him to fuck up and then passes it to me, and I just went straight down the hated a little.
Chico's one of the most unique cats I've
Spoke
ever
to him
met in
last
my
week.
entire life.
He loves the pod. He loves. He's just like
He's a good
He's
man,
playing
Chico.
AFL now.
Yeah, I saw that the other
He's
day.
playing AFL. He goes, brah, I tore my hammy last week playing AFL. I said, well, you're not Nick Nat. Nick Nat Newey.
Oh, he's a good man, Chico.
I
He's
love
very
Chico.
good.
Great to reconnect with him too.
I saw a video the other day of, I think Isaac put it up, and him and Normie were going for a run. And as Normie's running, he sees about 10 metres in front of him one of those green e-bikes. And, you know, the average human veers out of the way. You saw Normie take those couple of short steps to jump and the video cut off just before the jump. And I was like, that's the most Normie thing I've ever fucking seen. In his mid-30s, he's leaping over e-bikes instead of just going around.
Extremely fit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a little
Bit of a
bit of
natural
him at the
freak,
Dragons.
Normie.
Natural.
Very-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those guys are always underappreciated because they were so naturally gifted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon Normie's almost the poster boy for that sort of stuff. Like his kicking game and everything, but he was just very, and I mean this in a respectful way. He was just very rat's ass about how he went about everything.
It's becoming more common.
Yeah, you are right. Actually, yeah, he was a little bit before his time. Yeah, Emma's won a Dalian medal at Parramatta. He got very, very close to it. But yeah, I last time I saw Chico, it was like the first time I met him, but just listening to his conversation of me, I'm just like, I'm not on the same wavelength as you. I love you, but I'm not on the same wavelength.
He was so
as you.
funny, man, at training. He'd just come up.
Did you guys get along well?
Love it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
can
one of
see
my
that.
best mates at Penrith.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through there were some tough times there where we helped each other out, but we also went through some stuff that was just hanging out together. Same with
he's a
ET.
good
Shout out
man.
to ET as well, Elijah Taylor.
Elijah Taylor, where did I see him the other day?
Footy hacks. He's the
Oh,
man.
yeah, but I also saw the other day there was like a trivia or something. I think it was like most tackles in a game or something. It was Elijah
72.
Taylor. Fucking freak.
72.
Jeez, he was a good player, Elijah
He'd
Taylor.
always come in. So we used to have like I've told you the story about like the 7 minutes before, 7 after half time, 7 before the end, right? And if we kick the ball dead, like one of our old assistants used to, like he'd say slash, like that's a slash, that's a huge no, like you don't want to hurt yourself sort of thing. And like ET got to the stage where in games, like if I kicked one dead, you just hear this, oh, Sowie slash. Like he'd just be spraying me like that. And then we'd come in for video and you knew it was coming. He goes, oh, here we go, slash. Like, I'm like, here's a bloke that's making 100 tackles in the middle. And here's me propping down a short side trying to just, pull it up 1 metre out. I've kicked it dead. Oh, shit. It was a great year in 14, mate. It was a great year.
Yeah, mate, the name you keep bringing up, I reckon he's one of my favourite players of all time to watch. At his best, Matt Moylan.
He was so silky, man.
I've still got people that will like message me occasionally. I had a quote that I stand by 100% about that. Him at that stage, he was the closest thing I'd seen to when Lockie was playing fullback.
Yeah.
The way that he'd glide across the field and he'd just pick up guys and everything had just been in slow motion.
He got all that from touch, mate.
Yeah,
he was an
sense.
elite touch player, but
His brother's a very good touch player too.
Ben Moore, yeah. That Penrith crew coming through was very good. He has a moment at West. I think we're playing Moses and Brooks at Leichhardt.
Yeah.
And me and Wal were up for it because it was the young halves versus the old halves, and we were right up for it. I said to Wal, we're not going to Leichhardt to get beat. Anyway, Moyser gets down the short side and he just looks out and just goes, whack, left foot, scores again. I was like, we might not have to do much today, Wal. The kid's on. Oh, he was silky. He was so good. He played for Australia that year, I think.
Yeah, he did. 2014 played for Australia. Yeah.
And then played 5'8" in 2016.
Yeah.
For New South Wales.
Did he play 5'8" for New South Wales? He definitely. Yeah, he probably would. Because
I don't know in 14. I think it was Mansell was 14 in terms from our team. Maybe he did play. I think he played 16.
I reckon Moylan was the 5'8" when Teddy was fullback when he was at the Tigers still. The Blues. I reckon Teddy played 1 year for New South Wales before he went to the Roosters, 1 or 2 years. And I think Moylan was a 5'8" in that side.
Well, Roo Crew, this is your chance to get back in our good books.
Yeah.
Or in my good books.
Someone's good books. I played golf last year with Matt Moylan at the end of the year, and I was like, after one beer with him, I was like, fuck, you are exactly as I thought you'd be.
He's a legend.
No one's
mate.
ever been more honest about
who
they
a
are
legend.
than Matt Moylan.
When I retired, I think I saw him in 17, I think when they got knocked out or whatever, and I went and had a beer somewhere while I was just doing something, and him and Chico just grabbed me, and I was like, I've been taken back into a time capsule of 2014, and every time I see him, he's like, hey, bruh. I was like, Moyser? He's just got that laugh, he's just got that, and then he played.
He's got a very infectious laugh.
He played for the Sharks 30s at State Cup this year for touch, and they won it, and it was no surprise. They had Dean Vardy, Chase Stanley, Adam Springfield, who's a gun touch player. They had like the guns and Moyser. And I was just like, I'm not playing 30s anytime soon. I am happy in the 40s division.
How good. All right.
Jeez, that's a deep
No
Jeez,
Shock
we get
21,
the deep rabbit hole.
I got heaps far away from us. And once again, I regret little to nothing.
Can we let it out of the bag yet about a couple of Thursdays? Can you imagine us in a couple of Thursdays? Are we going to get in a fight with those certain people that we're catching up with on Thursday night?
I had no idea what you were talking about until 2 seconds ago. Let me confirm that, but I'm pretty sure we're on. I think on the 17th of July we'll be doing the Hello Sport live stream.
As a team.
As a team. 2 of us. I've got some special halftime trivia coming up.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
You want to test me out?
I want to test them out, but we do trivias all throughout. I was on fire.
I can see it. I can see.
That
doesn't surprise me.
fire.
I watch the highlights every time you do that. You do about evens, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually cheer for you, so I glaze you. Like I just go. Like if you get a winner up, I just go, that's my boy. Yeah, when you do the trivia, I just go, I fucking know that guy.
I think you're one of the few. Don't worry about that. All right. Now, last week, did we do a preview show last week? We did, didn't we? Where were we? What'd you get right and wrong from the weekend before, mate?
I got
stood out to you.
Yeah, we haven't done it. We've been off with Origin. I got the Panthers right last week.
I did not.
Yeah, I got the Panthers right. I think I tipped the Dogs, but I think maybe I was a bit split. I'll tell you who I got right. Dolphins. You said that South could win that game, and I said Dolphins comfortably.
Yeah, I genuinely.
Can we actually write them down? Because I forget.
Well, mate,
Can Cat
I
just
wish
like
I
make
had
a
winners
note?
that I could forget. I don't think I had a shocker last weekend. I don't think I can tell you I got a fucking single thing right. Maybe I tipped the Cowboys to beat the Titans, but that's
It's
about
so
it.
far ago, isn't it? I tipped the Tigers to beat Manly. That was a stinker. Obviously, when Luai was out, I actually tipped the Broncos to beat the Warriors, which is a good one. And I think I went Eels over Dragons. It was a bit of a mixed bag, but I think Broncos for me. I saw enough. Reece Walsh has just got this energy about him that everyone. There's certain guys you play with, like when Darbs used to play when he was cooking in 2010, and finished very high up in the Dally-Ms that year. You just felt comfortable throwing it. Like you didn't have to there'd be times where you get to the 4 and you hold it and everything works great and you go, fuck, that's awesome. But then there's other times where he's just throwing the ball and you're like, how did he do that? And then you're running down and you're getting ready to high five B-Miles or 90 and like that kind of stuff. Or, like there's those guys that bring that energy and a difference to your attack. And it is noticeable what the Broncos attack has looked like the last couple of weeks. They almost look like, I don't want to disrespect anyone here, and I say this seriously, it's Reece Walsh's team. And it's his team. The way that they play, I think Adam Reynolds feels more comfortable playing. It's going to be more dangerous when Ben Hunt gets into the side and plays 9. Whether they start him or not, I don't know. But he's just like, boys, fuck it. If we make a mistake, let's go. And I reckon Michael Maguire's needed that as well. He's so kicked to a corner and structured and all this kind of stuff. And then he's got Reece Walsh. He's like, well, start of the year, he's probably trying a little bit too hard and trying to find the balance. And we said that on this show. He's trying to find a balance of what Madge wants and what Reece wants.
Yep.
And now it's like, I've seen enough being out injured. Okay, I understand what Madge wants here at this time, but I'm still a fucking Ferrari up here.
How would you use Ben Hunt when you bring him back in? I think I'd bring him off the bench personally. I think I'd let Billy or whoever play the opening 30 and then bring him on.
Yeah, I reckon Doza's a starter. I think Billy's earned enough to come off the bench. I think he's done enough in that role, whereas if you started Ben and then you put Corey Pakes back to the bench and you didn't have Billy, the ideal thing for them is Billy can cover a lot of positions, so can Ben. But I've got Ben starting.
Yeah, no, I'd go the other way. I think that I agree that Ben obviously deserves to start in the 9, but I think that they would be better suited to have Ben come on and play the last 60, 55. That's how I would do it.
It's the total opposite of what they've done in Origin, though. He's gone through the grunt work. He gets a feel for the game. That could be, like, if they weren't already back in terms of contention, well, they're obviously 5th on the ladder, but that could be an X factor for them going into the finals, because if he's dictating where they get the ball and if he and Reynolds are on the same page when Reece can get the ball and they're finishing in good positions, like Ezra's playing great, all of a sudden they rocket straight into contention.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm not Ben at the age he's at the back of his career. I'm not buying him for his grunt work. I want him to come on and have proper impact on the game. And if I'm playing Brisbane and I got a fresh Ben Hunt coming on the field after 30 minutes, fuck that. I'd hate to come up against that.
But are you asking people to do things that they aren't used to in terms of being able to get into the game? Because what Billy Walters does now is he is reading the game really, really well. He's been patient. He's come on and turned a couple of games. He's kept momentum, because when you look at bench players, you're not looking at you don't just pick your 4 best guys. You got to look at guys. Okay, if shit hits the fan here, who can come on and change momentum for us? And I feel like Billy does that for them at the moment.
Okay, so if you're starting Ben Hunt, at what point do you bring Billy onto the field, or is it just dependent on the game?
That's a feel.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why I think it's a specialised role for Billy at the moment, because he's done it. He's not going, oh shit, I have to start where I have to pass off the deck and tackle, and he's been able to come on when the game's opened up a little bit, or there's been shit fight and they've been able to wrestle it back.
I guess the other silver lining, blessing in disguise, however you want to look at it, for Ben Hunt is that when he does come back, he's got to play 10 weeks. Doesn't have to play 27 weeks as a starting 9, tackling his dick off.
No.
Yeah, okay. Might have convinced me around there. Not bad. All right. I got nothing right last weekend, so I got nothing to say. Mandu, we'll go through the games this weekend. Obviously, guys, bye round. It is a shorter round this week. What's doing, Kat? Talk to me.
Well, action starts on Friday. Don't forget NRLW kicks off on Thursday night. So we can start getting around that. And I know, Sowie, you're a big fan of the NRLW. We had you on the preview episode. But in terms of the men's game, action starts Friday at 8 p.m. We have the Bulldogs taking on the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos outsiders here at $2.45. The Bulldogs at $1.50. I wanted to ask you, mate. I find it interesting, and I guess they've got no other choice. That Selwyn Cobbo's in at fullback this week of all spots. Obviously signed to go somewhere else. Haven't been picking him the last few weeks. What sort of a player do you think we'll see out of Selwyn? Yeah, I hate the optics. I think it looks fucking dreadful.
I think if you bring him back on the wing. And
Yeah,
put
I
Arthurs
can't
back
believe
there.
they're putting him in the spine. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and the communication around that as well is like you haven't been in the side.
Yep.
Now we're going to throw you into a key position.
Yeah, you're also not going to be here next year. You got nothing. Like, you're not playing for a contract or anything anymore.
And we want you to play at the standard that we've played the last 2 weeks where we've looked great.
Yeah, fuck that. I would have put Jesse Arthurs in there and just said, run your dick off.
Yeah, I think it's a late change. I think that's what will happen.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Broncos, for me, carrying the momentum. I just want to see how Bulldogs handle this. No Stephen Crichton, no Carraz. I'm still not convinced they've got their attack worked out, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, well, what does that all look like? I'm going to take the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bulldogs in this one. I think, as you spoke about before, I just think Reece Walsh will be an enormous out for that.
You know what I'm interested to see? How they back up after last week. Long turnaround, yeah. But sometimes when you come out of those games, you think, okay, well, we went too far away.
Yep.
And we've got a lot of good stuff to work on, but it's not that. Panthers, it's the Broncos. They're not full strength. It's going to be, I think it could be a high scoring game too.
I think it will be too. Yeah,
because of the packs. There's no like bash and barge, King v Haas, and this could be Hayward dominating, Reynolds dominating kicking game. And the Bulldogs owe the Broncos one, so it could be high scoring.
Yep, agreed.
Okay.
Saturday, Kat?
Super Saturday with 2 games. We have the Canberra Raiders taking on the Dragons. This one kicks off at 5:30 p.m. at GAO Stadium.
Dragons at $3.50 in this one. The Raiders short price favourites. How do you see this one playing out?
Raiders have done everything that we've asked them to do to prove their credibility of being the best team in the competition. I just don't think they lose at home. I think the Dragons last week was certainly better and really nice to see Kyle getting some touches, all that kind of stuff. I thought Damien Cook, that was his best game for the Dragons. But no Val Holmes, down on the road, need to win the game. Not going to be surprised if the Dragons start fast because I reckon there's a little bit of momentum there that Flano will have to lean on. But who goes against the Raiders at the moment? Like if they weren't the real deal, they would have dropped one of the last 2 games on the road, as in like one of those immature.
Yes.
Oh, we're not ready, but they just love playing footy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Raiders will get the job done. They'll be too good at home. Late game Saturday night, Kat?
Late game we have at the Cowboys taking on the Melbourne Storm. This one is up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium and it kicks off at 7:35.
Cowboys at $3.60 on Neds. Melbourne Storm at $1.30. Fantastic story out of this game. Jonah Pizzette back on the bench. Unreal story for him coming back from injury.
It always, when young guys that have got so much talent that have been talked about go through a little bit of rust patch, it's always nice to see them back. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Melbourne Storm, everything screams Storm because of last week. Problem is they've got a few out.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to readjust some of that stuff. Look, if the Cowboys are going to make the 8, this has to be a game they have to get. I want to see Drinkwater do Drinkwater things, but also do gritty things as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Storm just because I know what I'm going to get.
It's a
It just screams Jerome Hughes 12 Dalian points or whatever, however many you can get.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Tyron Wishart lining up at 5'8". Bronson Garlick coming in at 9. We know this Melbourne Storm team, they look completely different. Harry Grant's not on the field. You're right. It is sort of a bit of a line in the sand moment for this Cowboy side, isn't it?
Well, it has to be. Last week they almost lost that game to the Titans. Like if it's another couple of bounces of the ball here or there, maybe if Kelly catches it on the full, they get a chance. But at home, the last time they played there, they conceded 50. This has to be it.
Shout out to the Jersey 14, Temple Kalipa, I believe. I haven't seen much of him, but obviously making his debut. He's been playing up there with the Cutters over the last couple of months. So congratulations to him on his debut. Mandu, talk to me about Sunday. I'll be out at this game.
You'll be out at this game. Sydney Roosters taking on the West Tigers at Allianz Stadium, kicking off at 2 p.m. Who have you got?
Tigers are at $3.90 on Neds here. The Roosters at $1.26. I was looking at some numbers the other day, mate. And if you have a look at Tedesco and Daniel Tupou together have played, I think, just a tick over 500 games between the two of them. If you put together the rest of the Roosters side altogether, it's at about 300. Wild how much experience is in those two. Toop's got an incredible try scoring record against the West Tigers. I think it's his most against any club. I think the Roosters win, and I think they win well in this one.
Conditions will play a part, I think. If it's wet, I'll be interested to see how Hugo and the crew manage that.
Yep.
If it's a dry track, history, form suggests that, it could be a bit of a long afternoon. I've got the Roosters winning. The one thing they have in their favour is their backline pretty much doesn't change. So,
Yes.
You've got Tedesco there who is he the favourite for the Dally M with Isaiah Qatar?
I was going to say it's the 2-horse race for me.
Yeah.
Now that Lukey Met's out of contention, I think it's a 2-horse race.
A lot of changes for the Tigers. Dewey, I'm happy they've got Latu Fainu in the 7 jersey again.
Yep.
Rough week for him last week. People say, "Oh, did you wish you put that clip up?" Well, that's not a real fair reflection of what we think we're going to see from Latu.
Yep.
I think he's a supremely skilled kid who's going to have a long NRL career. He's got the same sort of aspects to his game where he can stop-start like Qatar. But when you're in a side at the moment that's struggling, combinations, all year he would have trained in that 13 utility role. And it's like, oh, shit, it's come early. Give it time. He's going to be good.
Yeah, he'll come good. As well, like, guys, he's 2 games in now. He's had 2 different 9s. He's now going to have his second 5'8". He's had 2 different fullbacks as well.
Tom Rodwell on debut as well?
Yeah, Tommy Rodwell's making his debut. He's pulled out a cup last week. So it's his debut, who's obviously Tom is the older brother of Toby Rodwell we spoke about last week, the New South Wales under-19s, 5'8", from the CBA Bowl. And also, mate, Max McCarthy making his debut, one that they really fancy. Been injured the last few weeks. He's essentially had 4 or 5 weeks off. He's come straight in. I think if it wasn't for injury, he would have debuted earlier. I think injury might have held him back from debuting last year as well. But yeah, I had a look at his Instagram today. He hasn't got too many photos, but I went back through him. He's got photos of him holding the Roosters banner in the crowd. He's got his first photo on Instagram is of his bedroom 10 years ago, and it's just covered in Roosters footy cards stuck on the wall, all that sort of shit. So we always talk about it. Kids that love footy. I think Max McCarthy's one of those guys.
What position is he?
Is back row. It's just tough.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to
Tough
that. I
little
saw you
prick.
put that up and I was like, one of us.
Yeah, he's one of us.
us.
Yeah. And you know what I love as well? That he's not, like, I'm sure there'd be a lot of first graders that'd get to this sort of point and maybe like hide some of those Instagram pictures or whatever. I love the kid just goes, oh, fuck
Don't
it. This
hide
is
it.
me.
Yeah.
I love the Roosters. This is what I'm about. It's really good to see.
He's
That's
got
so
the,
cool.
That was his first post, did you say, the Roosters? And he's got the photo.
Still sitting there.
Yeah. How good.
Yeah, really good. So, and I know the Roosters rate him very, very highly. So shout out to him. Very good to see. Yeah, I think the Roosters win and win well. There could be a little marky mark show there, I reckon. No one need to I say.
Hattie?
Tim's training him in Supercoach this week, so I hope not. But I think he'll go damn close to it. He's playing centre. I actually prefer him at centre, to be honest with you. I love that offside. The bloke outside him could get a Hattie, I'll tell you that much.
I was going to say, my wife has got this thing, like debutantes, outside backs, they just find a way to score.
I always, yeah.
So Rodwell could get over the line. Jed Stewart, she called it.
You know, last week there was, in the first 3 games, there was 3 sons of coaches that scored.
Yeah,
Kyle
good.
scored, Jed scored, and there was another one in one
Cleary.
of those games. Oh, Cleary, of course, yeah. All 3 scored.
When was the last time that happened?
Be
Ever?
pretty rare. Yeah, I mean,
Rando.
are they the only 3 father and son coaches right now? Because Kev's not coaching anymore.
Well, I can't imagine that Marty Lang scored too many.
The head wobble. Here he comes off the back fence.
In the same week of other coaches' sons scoring. Rabbit holes.
Oh, Marty Lang, how good. Is that us? No, last game of the week, man. Talk to me.
No, we are not done. We've got one more game left, and this is the one I'm going to be at. It is Manly taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. This one is at 4 Pines Park, and kickoff is at 4:05 p.m.
Yeah, what about Brookvale Oval spending all their bicky on getting Kat to make a guest appearance there?
Are they?
Yeah, really splashing out.
Yeah.
Her and Ella Kazma.
Yeah.
Are you aware of Ella yet? Have you come across Ella? Huge Manly fan.
Is she the
blonde,
Dancer.
funny
Yeah.
dancer.
The one that
yeah,
you-
one of the
yeah.
great humans I've ever met.
Is she?
I had a conversation with her mum. Shout out Deb Kazmar. She'll be tuning in for sure. She went on the 1990 Kangaroo Tour as a supporter, and I was talking to her and everything, and I was like, I assumed that Ella's dad was with her. She was like, no, I just went with a couple of girlfriends. Went on the 1990 Kangaroo Tour.
Isn't
How fucking
Ella
good is
like
that?
Ella would do that too?
100%
Like
she
Ella
would.
is
Yeah.
She loves
Like a
Manly.
mum.
Loves it. Yep.
One of
Which of
us.
She loves rugby. Yeah, she's one of us.
she loves rugby league though.
Loves rugby league.
Like she-
What's she think of her side at the moment?
she's
She actually posts weekly reaction, like team
She has
list
pretty honest
reactions,
reviews,
and if she's not happy with where
follow.
someone's playing, she'll
definitely
say
worth
it.
follow. She's great. I love Ella.
Yeah, worth a
I
follow.
was at Brookvale with her on Friday night on the hill. On Saturday I was hungover as balls. Josh was playing. I was like, I'm too hungover to go. Fuck that. I'll just watch it on bar TV. She was back at Brookvale watching reserve grade the next day. That's how much she loves it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if you think Manly's first grade side's struggling, half of them are from reserve grade. So
Do you reckon
She's
if,
a real deal.
Do you reckon if Souths win, I got to jump into the video?
I would be
Yes.
pretty disappointed if you didn't, to be completely honest with you.
Well, speaking of winning and losing, who have we got?
I've actually got an upset in this game. I reckon South's forward pack will be up for this one. Cody Walker on the extended. If Cody Walker comes in, I don't think he will, but if he does, I really like South Sydney all of a sudden. But I reckon the Bunnies are going to pull something out here. They're desperate. I thought Manly. I was obviously at the game the other night. The pack's just got no punch for Manly at the moment. Nathan Brown out as well. I think that's a big loss for them. I think Keon, Aiken, Tallis. I reckon they all get up for this game. What do you reckon?
Jeez, it scars me from last week. They had the same similar
Yeah.
setup last week and missed the kick. No Walker. Died off the bench. Yeah. Brandon Smith, is there a chance of...
I saw Cheese the other night out of the footy. It sounded like a round 20 thing to me. I don't,
Okay.
maybe he will, but I don't know. I doubt it.
Oh, look, I think Manly at home. But again, they're not feeling with any great confidence at the moment, are they? Like, it's funny when they look back at this season, like that side has been pretty much, apart from Paseka and here and there, like, I just didn't like, Tom just looked unhappy the other night.
Yeah.
Like,
It's actually like, I really like Taniela Paseka as a player, but he is way more important to that side than he should be.
Yeah.
For like building a roster, he's too important for that side.
Yeah.
Like I like Paseka, he's a good footballer, very good first grader, but it's like
And like-
taking Payne Haas out of the side. It's like they lack so much without him.
yeah, and I reckon they bought Jazz Tavanga to be 13, not a 9. Like,
Well, yeah, I think I've been saying it for months. I think they've got to make a tough decision with Jake there. I just don't think he's a 60, 65 minute dude.
no, but you could bring him off the bench and he could be effective.
I don't know if you could.
There's
They
not,
should,
gonna,
yeah.
there's not any, like, the
Yeah,
bench.
even the way they used Jazz the other night, he played hooker for the first 25 minutes. He didn't get on until about the 60th minute again. I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let Jazz rip and tear.
Yeah.
If you got a guy like Aaron Clark, Jazz Tavanga, they're too tough for their own good. Just let them fucking go.
Yeah, I agree. And even, I mean, I didn't mind Gordon Chan Kum Tong.
he's a good player.
I thought he's missed out. Like,
Mate, I thought he'd be further ahead than where he is now, though. When he first came, coming through the
sometimes you got to
grades.
get a chance to play through those things.
Yeah, and he hasn't been in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
I also think like I'm okay with them playing Jazz in the 9 for the first 20.
yeah, but I reckon Jazz
think
could have
Jake's
done what
thinking
Aaron
handle
Clark
himself.
does for the Warriors.
Yes, yeah, that's what he should be allowed to do. Yeah.
But because they're trying to persist the Jake,
Yep.
it's hamstrung them a little bit.
I'm hoping that the Nathan Brown injury just forces their hand on Jazz, but
yeah,
I believe it will.
Manly
So,
at home, but
Not by much.
it's still a bloody good South Sydney side.
yeah, I'm going to take South in an upset there. I reckon they'll get them. All right, my bet for this week on the Neds up, it's 50-1. Hawaii 5-0, doing great things there. I've got Jacob Preston. I think he's going to get that matchup against Ezra Mam on Friday night. I think they'll look to isolate him. He's at 255, pretty short, but he has scored in 6 out of his last 10 games. So Preston to cross. Nick Meaney's at about $3.40. I just think that's too much value in that game for the centre outside Jerome Hughes. Billy Smith's at 285. I think there'll be plenty of points in that Roosters-Tigers game from the Chooks, and 285 I'll take. And then I've taken South Sydney, but I've given them a 6.5 start in that game. That's 50-1 on the Neds app. Jump on there and follow along with that bet and all the bets on the Rugby League Guru profile there. What's on for the weekend?
Girls are going away.
Where are they off to?
They're off to Port Mac.
Yep.
For a holiday. So I'll be working at the Sunday afternoon game, Rabbitohs.
You'll be out there
Manly.
too.
No, I'm calling it. It's just from the
okay.
studio, interactive studio, 2GB. Daryl and I think Piggy are on, so
Yep.
looking forward to that. And then another busy week ahead of Origin, doing some stuff with Deadly Choices next week.
Yep.
Are you going to the game?
No, I'll be here reviewing it, watching it live, taking it all in.
Love going to the game. Last time I went to a decider was the James Tedesco try.
That was the last game I went to as well.
Jeez, we're connected.
We are.
We're just
This,
so
the
connected.
invisible string theory with you two. It's not even invisible. You've actually just had a string.
I'm going to
on
go off
Sowie.
early because I won't get a chance. I'm going to say New South Wales 1-12. My man of the match is going to be Liam Martin.
The third step brother.
Yeah, the third step brother. And I said, I texted you last time, anytime try scorer Angus Crichton. I'm going to say Lomax double.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to go Blues 1-12. I'm going to go Payne Haas, man of the match, and locks up a Wally Lewis medal.
Has he already got one? No.
I don't think so. No, he got man of the match in game one. I reckon he's going to go enormous in this game, and he needs to. Try scorers. I like Critter again, mate. I think he's having a good. I think that him against Shibasaki, I think that's a little bit alarming for Queensland personally.
Geez, Papali'i scares the shit out of me.
Yep, fucking hate it. Absolutely hate it. I think that they've got
I think this
numerous
is their
decisions wrong
strongest-
this series, and that's the one that might be the only one.
I think
that
this is
matters.
their strongest team of the series.
I agree with you.
Don't get the Gimat Shibasaki
Yeah,
thing.
it
Don't
seems a bit rogue
don't
to
go
me.
into that. No, but I meant like big body
Yeah,
Crichton.
Would you have gone Reece Walsh? Because to me, the thing that would have kept me awake at night is knowing that Reece Walsh and Hamisa are on the field at the same time.
Yeah, I don't buy into that because I think Hammer's best position is fullback. I don't think you have him at centre is the same threat as having him at fullback.
Okay.
All I know is that in Origin, big moments, you clock off for a second and he's going to support the ball and he's gone. Walsh, different, needs it out the back of shape. New South Wales have shown that they can handle the shape pretty well, apart from one or two reads, which where the ruck was, lost. So I think that Hammer is dangerous for me. I just Papali'i, the way they played, they've got confidence now. This is all like they're expected to win. I'm terrified.
Do you have any concerns about the New South Wales team we picked?
No, it's the team I picked. I'm sticking
You
by
know
it.
who worries me?
Nathan Cleary will be fine, mate.
No, not Nathan. Fucking Stefano that worries me.
Who?
Stefano.
No.
I have my concerns.
Start him, mate.
Start him?
Start him. Stefano, look at yourself in the mirror. You're 8 foot tall, 120 kegs. We need you. And he'll be fine, mate. He's fine. He should start. Max King off the bench showed his versatility. He can start. He can come off the bench. He plays big minutes. He can do the Barnett roll off the bench. Stefano, get in there, roll the sleeves up, get yourself dirty, son.
In all seriousness, why are we rewarding Stefano with a starting spot? Explain that logic to me, because I'm just not
Yeah,
seeing
but some
it.
people can't come off the bench. He's in Melbourne all year. Get your start right. This is what you need to do at the start of the game. This is Stefano in big games against big packs. This is what you need to do to start the game. Get into Origin. Oh, we're going to start you off the bench. Oh, shit. Well, I've been getting rid of myself. Like, some people just don't handle it, mate. And that's okay. And people like say, oh, he has to come off the bench. Max King doesn't give a fuck. He did it in game one. He knows how to do it. He's probably done it when he was at Melbourne and all that kind of stuff. He's done it before. Stefano's always been a starter, mate.
But has he delivered when he's starting this year?
They're sitting second, third.
No, you're sweet. They've been sitting second and third for 20 years. I'm not putting that down to every front row forward that's ever done
I
that,
just think the mentality he understands. He's a starter, mate. And if he runs for 50 metres, I don't give a fuck. His defensive efficiency this year is exceptional for a front rower. Big body.
I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned.
We can't go for another 2 hours on the pod. We'll lose him, mate.
I'll tell you what, though.
Jeez, it'll be good.
If Amiso cuts through a gap around him, no, next Thursday I'm coming for you, okay? Because
That's
I have
fine.
big
That's fine.
concerns.
And when Nathan Cleary dominates Origin and they win the series,
Yeah, I'll say I told you so.
down the barrel, he will be an immortal.
Yeah, he will be. He's dominated Origin.
Thank you.
What if we lose game 3? What if we lose game 3?
I shan't be coming in. Queensland fans.
Fuck, it's a conversation I don't want to have.
Queensland fans, miss me with that shit, as you would say.
With that. How good. All right, we're going to love you and leave it. Appreciate you. Shout out to Neds. Always doing great things. Jump on the Neds app. Follow on with all those bets.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website